Look at me. You know that something needs to change, don't you? You feel it. It's there, right in front of you, right inside you. You can hide it from others, you can delay it, but you can't fool yourself. So, enough stalling. It's now. It's here. It's with you. I'm not here to speak nicely, to pat you on the back, or to pretend that everything will sort itself out. Because it won't. Nothing changes if you don't decide to change. No one will do this for you. There is no miracle, there is no shortcut. There is a choice, and that choice is in your hands. Maybe you're afraid. Maybe you ask yourself, can I do it? Let me answer that right away. Yes, you can. Do you know why? Because you've been through worse. You've fallen. You've suffered. You've had moments when you thought you wouldn't make it. And you did. You're here hearing this because somehow you always found a way out. So, why would it be different now? But let me warn you about something. This decision is not easy, it's not comfortable, it will hurt, it will require sacrifice, and there won't be anyone to applaud you while it's happening. But do you know what there will be? The relief of looking in the mirror and finally seeing who you truly are, the peace of knowing that you didn't settle, that you didn't give up on yourself. Now answer me. What's holding you back? Fear of what? Of making mistakes, of not being enough, of disappointing someone. Stop with that. Life won't wait for you to feel ready. You will never be 100% ready. But you are here breathing, hearing this, and that's already reason enough to act. Are you still there thinking, trying to come up with an excuse that makes sense not to act now? Look, I'm going to be direct with you. Life won't pause for you to take courage. It doesn't care how long you need to decide, it just goes on. And while you hesitate, time passes. And you know what happens when time passes and you do nothing? Nothing changes, nothing gets better. You stay in the same place. I know this might be hard to hear, but someone needs to tell you. You are not here to be a spectator of your own story. You are here to be the protagonist. And if you don't take that role now, no one else will do it for you. It's no use waiting for motivation, the perfect moment, a divine sign. There is no perfect moment. The only moment you have is now. And yes, I know. Acting is scary. It's uncertain. You ask yourself, what if it doesn't work out? But let me ask you something. What if it does? What if this decision is exactly what you needed to turn things around? You will never know unless you try. Standing still, waiting for ideal conditions, only guarantees one thing: that you stay exactly where you are. And you know this place is not enough for you. Look, it doesn't matter what others have told you. It doesn't matter how many times you've been ignored, discredited, or even underestimated. None of that defines who you are. What defines you are the decisions you make now. And that is powerful, because even if you have made mistakes up until now, you have the chance to start over. Everything depends on you deciding that enough is enough, that now it's your turn. Maybe you're thinking, but what if I fail? And I say to you, you will fail. You will make mistakes, you will stumble, you will feel lost, that is part of it. But you know what can't happen? Giving up trying. Because every time you get up, you learn, you grow, and you become stronger. And that is what makes the difference. It's not about never making mistakes. It's about continuing, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And you know what else? You don't need anyone's permission for this. You don't need to wait for approval, acceptance, or validation. You just need to decide that this is what you want. And if you really want it, no one can stop you. But it has to be real. There's no point in half wanting, half trying. Either you're in or you're out. That's the reality. So tell me, what's your choice? Are you going to continue living on autopilot, accepting less than you know you deserve? Or are you going to do something now? Because later is just an illusion. It's what you do now that changes the game. And I'm here to remind you of that. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It won't be. It will be hard, tiring, and sometimes it will seem impossible. But that's when you discover what you're made of. Think with me, what's holding you back, that thing that binds you, that paralyzes you? Have you ever stopped to think if it's real or just a story you tell yourself? Because sometimes we are our own worst enemy. We sabotage ourselves, create barriers that don't even really exist. And in the end, the only thing that stops us is ourselves. And if that's true, then you are also the solution. You are the only one who can set yourself free. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Only you know what's right for you. But I'm here to remind you that you have a choice, you always do. And as long as you have a choice, you have power. Now it's up to you to decide how to use that power. Are you going to stand still, letting life take you wherever? Or are you going to take control and guide your own path? It's not about changing everything at once. It doesn't have to be a giant leap, but it has to be a step, a movement, something that gets you out of your place, because that's how it starts. And every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to where you want to be. But you need to start. Now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. You are listening to this for a reason. Something brought you here. Some part of you knows that it's time to do things differently. Listen to that part. Trust it. Because it is your truth. And if you ignore it, you will continue living a life that is not yours, that does not fulfill you, that does not make you happy. And that is not fair to you. Now answer me, what are you going to do? Not for me, for you. What are you going to do today now that will take you to where you want to be? Because in the end, the decision is yours. It always has been, and it always will be. And whatever your choice is, I want you to remember this. You are capable. Even when everything seems to be against you, even when you doubt yourself, you are capable. And as long as you believe that, nothing can stop you. If you are still here listening, it's because something inside you knows there is more. That you are not living everything you can live. That something is missing. You feel it, even if you can't exactly explain what it is. But let me tell you something. What's missing is not out there. It's not a new job. It's not an external change. It's not someone who will come and save you. What's missing is inside you. It is the decision to do something about it. Do you think you are alone in this? You are not. Most people live like this, postponing, ignoring what they feel, settling for it is what it is. But you are not here to be like most people. You didn't get this far to accept less than what you know you can have, or better than what you know you can be. And do you know what hurts the most? It's not the effort to change, it's not the fear of the new, nor the risk of failing. What hurts the most is the feeling of looking back a few years from now and realizing that you did nothing, that you had the chance, the time, the strength, but you didn't use them. Do you want to carry that feeling? Because it's heavy. It's a weight that no one can take from you. Only you can avoid that right now. I'm not here to convince you of anything. It's not about me, it's about you. It's about what you want for your life. Because in the end, no one is going to live for you. No one will carry your frustrations, your choices, or the lack thereof. All of that is solely yours. And if it's solely yours, then only you can change it. Maybe you're thinking, but how do I start? I don't even know where to. I'll tell you, you start where you are, with what you have, now. It doesn't matter if it's small, if it seems insignificant. What matters is that it's a start, because that's how big things happen, starting small. One step, then another and another, until you look back and realize that you have already moved, that you're already far from where you started. But don't be mistaken, there will be resistance. Your mind will try to convince you that it's not worth it, that it's not going to work, that it's better to stay where you are. Because change is hard work, and we always want the easiest path, even if the easiest means continuing to suffer. You need to be stronger than that voice in your head. You need to remember why you started, and more importantly, for whom you started. And let me ask you something. For whom are you doing this? For yourself? For someone you love? Or maybe because you know there's something bigger, something you don't quite understand yet, but you feel it's there. Whatever the reason, hold on to it tightly, because it will be what keeps you standing when everything seems too difficult. No one said it would be simple, but no one said you need to do everything alone either. Seek help, support, guidance. It's not weakness to admit you need a hand. On the contrary, it's strength. And when you have people by your side who believe in you, who push you forward, everything becomes more possible. But even without anyone, you can start. Because in the end, the person who needs to believe in you before anyone else is yourself. You know what else I want you to understand? That you have time. Not the time that has passed, because that doesn't come back, but the time that starts now, right this moment. While you're here listening to this, the clock is ticking. What you do with it is what matters. Use it well, because every second counts. And if you think you don't have time to change, I ask you, do you have time to continue as you are? Maybe you've tried before and it didn't work out. Maybe you're tired, discouraged, without strength, and I understand that. But I also know that if you're here, you still have something inside you that wants to try again, that believes it's still possible. And as long as you have that spark, that's what matters. Feed it, protect it, because from it will come your change. And please, stop waiting for the conditions to be perfect, for the scenario to be ideal, for everything to be aligned. That will never happen. You will need to act even when everything seems to be against you. And, sometimes that's how real change begins. In the midst of chaos, in the midst of the challenge, when you decide that you will no longer be a victim of circumstances. Look, I know this may sound harsh, but it's because I want you to understand the urgency of this, because I know what's at stake. It's not just your plans, your dreams, your goals. It's your life. It's what you do with it while it's here, while it's yours. And that's not little. It's everything. Now I'm going to ask you to do one thing. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what do I really want? Without filter, without fear, without excuses, just what you truly want. Listen to the answer, and when it comes, hold it tight, and start. It doesn't matter if the beginning is small, just start. Now that you've come this far, I want you to pay attention. What I'm going to tell you now is not just any other speech. It's not something for you to hear and brush aside. It's a commitment that you will make to yourself. The choice to change, to do things differently, to no longer accept living on autopilot, is not something that can wait. It's only yours. Only you can decide. Only you can transform what needs to be transformed. And if there's one inescapable truth, it's this: no one is going to do it for you. You are hearing this for a reason. Some part of you deep down knows that it can't go on the way it is, that there is something that needs to be different. And you know what's most important? You are here. You still have time. As long as you are breathing, as long as you can decide, there is still a chance to make it happen. But let me be direct with you. Time is an illusion if you don't use it wisely. How many times have you caught yourself saying, "I'll start tomorrow"? And what happened? Tomorrow turned into today, today turned into yesterday, and you are still in the same place. This is not your fault, but it is your responsibility, because the only thing that is truly under your control is what you do now. Not tomorrow, not later. Now. It is now that you need to act. I want you to think about your life as it is today. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize. Feel what is working and what is not. And now imagine how it could be if you took the steps you know you need to take. I'm not talking about a perfect life. I'm talking about a life where you feel alive, where you wake up knowing you are on the right path, even with the challenges. That life is there waiting for you. But it won't come by itself. You need to go to it. And that requires courage. And let me tell you something you might not have realized yet. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting even with fear. It's taking a step, even when you're not sure where it will lead you. It's trusting that the path will open as you walk. Because while you're waiting for total safety, for guaranteed success, life is passing by. And you're wasting time. Now, I know you've heard many promises out there. Things like, do this and your life will change. I'm not here to sell you a magical solution. I'm here to remind you of the power you already have, the power that's inside you. And if you're listening to this, it's because on some level you already know this. You just need to decide to use that power. I want you to tell me now and tell yourself, enough. Enough of hiding behind excuses. Enough of settling for less than you know you can have. Enough of letting life pass you by while you watch. You are not a spectator. You are the protagonist. And it's time to take control of your story. I know you might be feeling overwhelmed right now, thinking about everything that needs to change. But let me ease that burden for you. You don't have to change everything at once. You just need to take the first step, the first of many. And each step you take brings you closer to what you want, even if it's small, even if it seems insignificant. The important thing is to start. And I want you to do it now. Not tomorrow, not later, now. As soon as this video ends, I want you to do something, anything, that brings you closer to the life you want. It could be a small action, but do it. Call someone, write a plan, find a way to get moving. because it is in the movement that change begins. Now, let me ask you something. If you've made it this far, it's because something in this message resonated with you. And I want you to record that. Comment below. I choose to act. Do this not for me, but for you. Writing is a form of commitment. When you put this phrase here, you are telling the world and yourself that you won't delay what needs to be done anymore. You are taking a stand, and that's powerful. More than that, if this video touched you, if it made you reflect, if it made you think about something you can change, leave your like. This simple gesture is not just to support the work I do here, but for you to affirm that you are on this journey. It's a way of saying, I am listening and this makes sense to me. And of course, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning. I have much more to share with you, much more to help you on this path. When you subscribe, you're not just following a channel, you're saying that you're committed to your transformation, and together we will go further. And you know what else? I want to hear from you. I want to know about you. I want you to comment below what is holding you back. What is the biggest challenge you face today? What is keeping you from taking the next step? Write it here. Because when you share, you not only release what is trapped inside you, but also help others who might be going through the same thing. Your story matters, and I want to hear it. And before I finish, I want to remind you of one last thing. What you do now matters. Every choice you make shapes your future. And even if you've made mistakes until now, even if you've made decisions that didn't lead you where you wanted, you can change that now. It's not too late. It's never too late as long as you are alive. So do this for you, because you deserve it. You deserve to live a life that makes sense, that inspires you, that fulfills you. And I want you to always remember this. You are capable. Even when the world seems against you, even when things get tough, even when you doubt yourself, you are capable. And as long as you believe that, as long as you keep going, nothing can stop you. Now, go ahead. Do something. Show yourself that you are in control. And when you do it, come back here and tell me. I want to know what you did. I want to know how it went. Because your story matters. And I'm here to walk with you. Life is waiting for you. What are you going to do with it? See you in the next video. And remember, comment, subscribe, leave a like. We are in this together. Now, it's up to you.